Hi everyone, I am here with a story from our Miracles Do Happen book. These are true stories that people send in. Let's see what we have here tonight. This one is called The Invisible Power, and it is by Lloyd S. Decker. Let's see how long this one is. This one's not very long at all. Okay, so let me get started on this one for you guys. The diagnosis didn't sink in at first. Visual 2400 macular degeneration, retinal vein occultation, legally blind. For a year, I had trouble with my eyesight. New glasses and laser surgery hadn't made a difference. Still, I'd hoped some experimental treatment could correct the problem, but the specialists at the VA hospital told me nothing could be done. 30 years of high blood pressure had narrowed, then blocked the central vein in the retina, damaging my vision. I let my wife, Irma, guide me out to the car. As she got behind the wheel, the severity of my situation hit me. Could I never drive again? Never read a book? That night I lay awake worrying, and the next morning I sat at the breakfast table, staring gloomingly at the backyard. The world looked distorted, as if I saw it through dark blue water. The straight iron railing on the deck was a snake, slimy in midair. The big oak tree had a trunk shaped like an S, with its middle section erased. Irma took my hand. Remember what you tell people to do if they're in a jam? My answer was automatic. When you're in trouble, pray. I always thought that was pretty good advice. I nodded, but I didn't pray. What was the use? All my life, no matter how tough a situation, I had been able to figure out some way to improve it. Sure, praying helped, but there was always some practical way to take action. This was different. If medical experts said nothing could be done, what could I hope for? Even with prayer. As the days passed, I fell deeper into despair. Our children, Bruce and Linda, called to cheer me up. When they put my grandchildren on the phone, I thought about how I could never see their little faces brighten with smiles again. Irma acted if things hadn't really changed, but insisted on enjoying retirement. She was working harder than ever taking care of me. Then a relative gave me the phone number of Mike Corrido, a state caseworker for the blind. I called, not expecting much. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Mike said cheerfully. We have a lot of work to do. He seemed just as upbeat when he showed up the following Monday, sporting a jaunty pair of sunglasses. Mike broke the ice, chatting about his wife and their kids, how he'd taken them sailing over the weekend. Why shouldn't he be happy, I thought. His life is going just fine. Now, Mike said, pulling a form out of his briefcase, let me find out about you. He took off his sunglasses, brought the form an inch from my face, and read the first question. He's blind too. The dark glasses should have tipped me off, but I'd been too busy feeling sorry for myself to give them much thought. Even though Mike was disabled, he didn't act that way. A few days later, he sent over a radio tuned to a station that broadcast news articles, as well as a catalog of talking books. I started listening to books on tape. When I asked Mike where to get a magnifying glass powerful enough for me to read the print on my computer screen, he said, I can do better than that. He brought me software that enlarges letters up to 16 times the original size. Peering at the screen, we installed a new program. I typed in a few words. I can read again. At no cost, the state furnished through my friend Mike all the technology I needed. One morning, I turned off the magnifying system by accident. I was about to reactivate it when I glanced at the screen. The words jumped at me. I could make them out, even though the type was regular size. Tests showed that the visual size in my right eye had improved dramatically to a near-perfect 20/50. The doctor was puzzled. "Nothing in the structure of your eye has changed," he said. "There isn't any medical reason why you should be able to see all of a sudden, yet you can." I told Irma, expecting her to be stunned as I. "How did this happen?" I marveled. "I'm ashamed to admit it, but I hadn't been praying." Irma smiled, looking happy, but not surprised. "Maybe you hadn't been praying," she said, "but other people have." It turned out our son Bruce had asked the members of his church in New Hampshire to pray for me whenever they could at services, meetings, classes, and they had for months. As soon as I could, I was going to visit my son. I wanted to thank his friends for their prayers. First, though, I had to thank God for restoring what was most important, my belief in the power of prayer, and more than that, in his power. When I thought there was no hope, he brought Mike Corrido and the folks at my son's church into my life to show me there always is. Amen.